Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are doing well. Stay home, stay safe. Okay, so today we will study this poem, Last Lines, written by Emily Bronte. But you should know one thing, that these lines were written by Emily Bronte, but she didn't give them a title. So, Emily Bronte's sister, Charlotte Bronte, she has left this note, or she has given a title. She wrote that the following are the last lines my sister ever wrote. So, again, I would say that Emily Bronte has written these lines, but she didn't give them a title. Who gave these lines a title? Emily Bronte's sister, Charlotte Bronte. Okay, if you could see in your books, page number 28, it's written on the top in brackets. Emily Bronte did not give this poem a title, but Charlotte Bronte has left this note on the original manuscript. The following are the last lines my sister ever wrote. So you should keep this thing in your mind. Let's proceed. Last lines written by Emily Bronte. The timeline is given 1818 to 1848. Date of birth and date of death. Number 1. Emily Jane Bronte, pseudonym Alice Bell, pseudonym pen name. Alice Bell was born in England. She was an English novelist and poet who is best known for her only novel, Wuthering Heights, a highly imaginative work of passion. So, you should know that as far as Emily Bronte is concerned, her pseudonym or pen name was Alice Bell. And she was a novelist, she was a poet. She has written only one novel, Wuthering Heights, and it is now considered as one of the classics of English literature. So, Wuthering Heights is the only novel written by her, and it's a work of, or you can say, imaginative work of passion and feelings. So, this novel is very famous by her, the only novel which she wrote. Okay, now there were three sisters, Emily Bronte, Charlotte Bronte, Anne Bronte, and they are usually referred to as Bronte sisters. So, you should know this. Okay, next. Now, what is the central idea or theme of this poem? Or you can say these lines which she has written. Let me read it out for you. God is immortal and can never be destroyed. He is the master of the world and protects mankind. Everyone is equal before him without the discrimination and distinction of caste or creed. So, who is immortal? God. And man is mortal. God can never be destroyed because he is the master, he is the king of this world, and he protects mankind. All individuals, everyone is equal before him without any difference of color, caste, or creed. Okay, so somehow you should keep this central idea or theme in your mind. Okay, now what is the substance of this poem or some additional information? This poem tells us that God is omnipresent, present everywhere, all knowing. And one should not fear death when he has faith in God. If the whole world ends, it will still exist in God because he is immortal and cannot be destroyed. So, the poetess says that one should not be afraid of death if he or she has a firm belief in God. Why? Because God dwells in our hearts. And this faith and this profound and firm belief in God, it shines in our heart. And this belief, this profound belief, it gives somehow this powerful defense to us against fear. So one should not be fearful of death. Okay? If he or she has a strong, powerful, firm, grave, and sound belief in God. All right? Okay. Now, words and meanings. You should note them down with you. Number 1, deity, a god or goddess, or having a divine quality or status. Number 2, idealist, laziest, inactive, most useless. froth, bubbles, a mass of small bubbles in liquid. Pervade, permeate, which means to spread through and be perceived in every part of, to penetrate. Okay? Brood, to give shelter. Sustain, to support. Render, tear to pieces. Void, empty, non existent. So you should note down these meanings with you. And now we will proceed towards our poem. Kindly open your books. Side by side, you should note down whatever I say. You should note down the meanings. You should note down the elaboration on your books. It's page number 28. Last lines, Emily Bronte. Okay, now I will read out these lines for you and I will explain them. Kindly open your books in front of you. Let's get started. No coward soul is mine, no trembler in the world's storm-troubled sphere. I see heaven's glories shine, and faith shines equal, arming me from fear. No coward soul is mine. Now she says that her soul is not coward. No trembler, not shaking, trembling with fear. In the world's storm-troubled sphere. Storm-troubled sphere, it means that miseries, discomforts, difficulties and sufferings of this world, the circle of this life. Okay? Storm-troubled sphere. Discomforts, difficulties, miseries and sufferings of this world or circle of this life. So she says that her soul is not coward. Neither does she shake with fear because of miseries and difficulties and sufferings of this world. I see heaven's glories shine. She says that she sees heaven's glories. And faith shines equal, and faith also shines. What kind of faith? Her faith in God, her strong and profound belief in God. So, just like her faith shines, she can see the glories of heaven. Arming me from fear. Arming me, protecting me. Defense from fear. So she says that her soul is not coward. Why? Because she can see the glories of heaven. Her faith shines equal. She has profound belief and strong belief in God, strong belief. So this belief, this faith protects him from fear. So she doesn't tremble with fear because of miseries, difficulties and sufferings of this world. Okay? O God, within my breast, in my heart, Almighty, ever-present deity, Almighty, grand, majestic, ever-present, always there, deity, divine, something divine, God. So, where does the God dwell? In heart. Almighty, ever-present deity. Now, these are the qualities of God. He is almighty. He is omnipresent. He is ever-present. Okay. Life that in me has rest, as I, undying life, have power in thee. Thee, you, which means God. Okay. O God within my breast. Now, God dwells in her heart. God lives in her heart. Almighty, ever-present deity. He is almighty. God is omnipresent. God is present everywhere. Life that in me has rest. Now God has given her central life, life of fame and popularity, because she was a writer. As I, undying life. As I, undying life. Undying life, life which will never die. Underline this, it means that fame, popularity, which will last even after her death, because people will read her poetry, her lines, so people will remember her. Have power in thee. Now, just like God has given her fame, popularity, this central life, which will never end, so this somehow manifests depicts or shows that God himself is immortal. Why? Because he has given these immortal trait to her. Though body will die, but her writings will be there, her lines will be there, her fame or popularity will be there. So this shows that God himself is immortal. That's why he has given this immortal trait to her life. That is fame. Okay? So this life, this central life, it has found rest in her. It means that the mortal life, which will have rest when she dies, but fame would be immortal. Body would be mortal, but fame would be immortal. She will be famous as a writer. So, this shows, this depicts, this manifests that God himself is immortal. That's why he has given this trait to her life. Okay? Next. Vain are the thousand creeds. Vain, useless. Thousand creeds, distinction of caste and creed. Social discrimination, class discrimination. Vain are the thousand creeds, beliefs that move men's hearts, unutterably vain. Unutterably, something which cannot be uttered, which cannot be said, which cannot be explained, inexplicable. Worthless as withered weeds. Withered weeds, dried plants, lifeless plants. Worthless as withered weeds. Now, this is a simile. Simile. Now, what is simile? When one thing is compared with another with the use of like or as. So, here you can say this thing, which is social discrimination or different class discrimination, distinction of caste and creed, you can say it is compared with as useless as dried plants. It is as useless as withered weeds. It is as useless as dried and lifeless plants, which are of no use. Okay? Useless. Or idlest froth, idlest, useless. Froth, bubbles, amid, among, the boundless main, the limitless ocean. Note down all of these meanings with you. Idlest, useless. Froth, bubbles, amid, among, the boundless main, the limitless ocean. So, what does she say? She says that this distinction of caste or creed is useless as the withered weeds, as the dried or lifeless plants, or the bubbles amid the limitless ocean. ठीक है? Just like those bubbles in liquid and in the ocean, they are useless, they are of no use. So just like that, just like lifeless and dried plants, this discrimination on the basis of color, caste, creed, belief, religion, this is useless. Why? Because everyone is equal in front of God. We all are equal. Okay? So this is the meaning of these lines. So again, now I will read out these lines again. You will understand better. Vain are the thousand creeds. Useless are the thousand creeds. Useless are the distinction of caste and color. Useless is the social discrimination that move men's hearts, unutterably vain, that is found in men's hearts. It is useless, and one cannot explain it, that how useless it is. Worthless as withered weeds. It is as worthless as dried, scattered, or lifeless plants. Or idlest froth amid the boundless main. Or it is as useless as bubbles in the ocean. Okay? So this is the meaning. To waken doubt in one, holding so fast by thine infinity. To waken doubt in one means doubt in God's existence. Those who are in doubt, those who are doubtful about God's existence. Holding so fast, so firmly, fixed by thine infinity. Thine, your. Infinity, immortality. Thine infinity means limitlessness and immortality of God. So surely anchored on the steadfast rock of immortality. Steadfast rock, rock which is firm and fixed. So just like the rock is fixed, God's immortality is also fixed. God cannot be destroyed. He is immortal. He is not mortal, just like man. Okay? So, if anybody doubts in God's existence, so it means that God's infinity and immortality are the things which assure man of God's existence. So one should not doubt existence of God. To waken doubt in one holding so fast by thine infinity. So if somebody doubts about God's existence, holding so fast, so firmly by thine infinity, so firmly holding to that faith. Okay? Now she's saying that she firmly holds this faith, this belief that God is limitless, God is infinite, God is immortal, so surely anchored on something which is there at the fixed position, the steadfast rock of immortality. Just like the rocks are firm and fixed at one place, so her belief is fixed and firm that God is immortal, he is limitless, he is infinite. Okay, so if somebody doubts in God's existence, that is not good. Why? Because there are a number of examples in front of us which manifest, which depict that God is immortal. There are a number of things which manifest God's immortality. All right? Okay, girls. Now, next. With wide embracing love, thy spirit animates eternal years, pervades and broods above, changes, sustains, dissolves, creates, and rears. So, with wide embracing love, vast love, embracing everyone. Thy spirit animates eternal years. Thy spirit means God's spirit. Animates, gives life to eternal years, immortal years. Pervades, I have already told you the meaning, to penetrate, to inculcate, and broods above. Broods, to give shelter. Changes, sustains, support for survival, dissolves, die, creates, born, and rears, to take care of, to bring up. So, in these lines, she says that this wide embracing and vast love of God, this Spirit of God, it gives immortality to life. Even after that death, He will love us. God will love us because He inculcates love in man. He, you can say, provides shelter to man. He changes man. He supports man. He is responsible for death. He is the one who creates man, and He is the one who takes care of man. You see, changes, sustains, dissolves, creates, and rears. So, this is what God does to man. So, one should not doubt His existence. Okay, so this God's spirit of love gives life to the eternal years of the universe. He inculcates love in man and He gives shelter. He also makes changes in the world. He supports man, dissolves him, creates him, and takes care of him. Okay, so this is the meaning of these lines. Okay. Okay, next. Though earth and man were gone, and suns and universes ceased to be, and thou wert left alone, every existence would exist in thee, you. Though earth and man were gone, if world is gone, if world is finished, earth is finished, man is finished, human beings are finished, and suns and universes cease to be, and suns, universes, planets, stars, skies, each and everything is finished, and thou wert left alone. And who will be left? Who is immortal? God. Every existence would exist in thee. Every existence would be found in you. The you, God. So, here she says that if the earth, man, all planets, this universe, it is finished, only God will be left alone. Why? Because he is immortal. And all these things will exist in him. So somehow these things will exist in God. Why? Because God is the creator. Creatures will not be here, but creator will be here. Okay? Next. There is not room for death, nor atom that his might could render void. It's void, void. Kindly correct this. In your books, if it's written with W, it's void, void, empty, non-existent. Thou art being and breath, and what thou art may never be destroyed. Thou, thee, you should know the meaning of these words, okay? Thine, your, thy, your, thee, you, thou, you. Okay. There is not room for death. There is no place for death in God's universe. Nor atom that his might could render void. Render, to tear into pieces, and void, empty, non-existent. So death cannot destroy even a single atom. Why? Because it is created by God. And if it finishes in this world, it will still be alive in God, in his existence. Thou art being and breath. Being, you see, with capital B, and breath with capital B, because these words refer to God, divinity. So he is a being, and breath, which cannot be finished. And what thou art may never be destroyed, and you cannot be destroyed, O God. So she says that God cannot be destroyed. Nothing can be destroyed. Why? Because all this is created by an immortal being. And who is that immortal being? God. So if God is immortal, it means that all the things of this universe, they are immortal. Even after death, there will be another life hereafter. So somehow, if we go from this world, so that doesn't mean that the world will be finished. It means that we are going towards another life. We are proceeding towards another life. So this was the poem, last lines written by Emily Bronte, with the theme that God is immortal and everything will be destroyed, finished, but God will be left alone. So when he will be left alone, it means that all these things, they will exist in him. Okay, so if you do not understand anything, you may ask me, and inshallah we will continue. And our next poem would be Prospus by Robert Browning. So thank you so much, girls. Stay blessed.